baby. You're a little tiny baby, such a tiny baby. And we're talking about worms. This is Worm Talk, baby. This is Worm Talk. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Worm Talk, the show where I talk to you and answer your questions that you call and leave me on my answering machine. If you want to send me a question, just call 678-PIG-SLOP and leave a message, and if it's a good question, maybe I'll answer it. But stop asking me dumb questions, everybody. Quit asking me how to do things. This is your one chance to really get to know me, and you want to know how to build a boat or something? That's dumb. I make tutorials for that. This is about questions about life, like what do aliens look like, or how deep is the ocean? Stuff like that I can help you out with. Well, enough of me blabbing on about whatever. Let's start the show with a nice call from a caller. Caller, today you're the very first caller. Please call and go ahead.
Hello, Mr. President. I was wondering if you could tell me how to make a board game. Thanks. Bye.
Oh, so you want to make a board game, huh? I don't think that's a bad idea. Most board games out there aren't that good. Scrabble, Monopoly, Risk, Battleship, etc. Those are the only ones I know about, but there are probably more. The problem with most board games is that they're two-dimensional. You play them on a board. If you're making your own new board game, you gotta get out of that. Get rid of the old traditions and start something new and innovative. First of all, make your board game vertical rather than horizontal. Yeah, this might present some logistical trouble, but imagine the joy that your gaming partners will have in their hearts and eyes when they see that your board game is stuck to a wall rather than sitting on a dumb table. Next, make sure that the game has thousands and thousands of pieces. To me, the best part about playing a board game is setting up a board game. Having to find all the pieces that got mixed up in the box, sorting them carefully. I want your new board game that you invent and make to have at least 5,000 different pieces. None of them are the same as any others, and they all are made out of lead. And they're all pretty big, so your board games can weigh a lot of weight, but that's fine because you're strong, and if you're not, you're gonna have to get strong to play this game, sucker. That's probably gonna be the name of your board game too, Strong Game. So please let me know once you've invented Strong Game, and then maybe I'll come play it with you. But probably not, since I'm not allowed to go over to people's houses because I got an F on my last physical education test. Thanks for calling, caller. Thanks again. Okay, let's see if we've got another caller. The second caller for today is The Time Is Yours. It's your time to shine, your time in the spotlight. I really hope your call is good. Go ahead.
Worm tutorial. I love you. Can you tell me how to get better at video games? Thank you.
Video games? Video games are stupid. Did you just even listen to the last thing I said? Board games are way cooler. Don't get good at video games. Just go over to somebody's house and play Strong Game. Once it's invented, of course. I don't know when that'll be, but maybe the first caller will call back someday and give us an update on when it's invented. And then we can have a Strong Game tournament, and you can play that instead of video games. Video games. Who cares about those? There's only one good video game in the world, and it was called Food Fight, and it was an arcade game where you would have to battle chefs to become the best food fighter of them all. But no, you don't want to hear about that. We're here to talk about Strong Game, a vertical board game where all the pieces are made out of lead and you have to be really strong to play it. So I would say sell your video game machine and take that money to invest in stock options for Strong Game. It's now trading on the New York Stock Exchange, and this isn't financial advice, but if I had money from selling a video game machine, I would invest it all into Strong Game on the NewYorkStockExchange.com. Thanks for calling, caller. You called, and thank you for that. What do we got? Another call now? Okay, that seems fine. Next caller, please tell me what you want.
Hey there, Worm Talk. I want to know if cereal is soup. Do you have any answers on that? Is cereal soup? Okay, thanks so much.
That's an interesting question, but it's not an important one. The main thing here is that cereal is not a soup because it is cold. Now I know what you're thinking. What if you make normal soup and let it get cold? Is that not still soup? What about gazpacho, a soup that is prepared and served cold? Is that not soup? Well, let me answer your question with another question. Who cares? Who cares what anything is classified in the soup category as? You could go as far as to say any liquid is soup. Is the ocean a soup? It's salty water with fish in it. Is Isn't that an ingredient? Fish soup, basically? It's cold. Is it a soup? No. How about this? Nothing's a soup. Soup doesn't exist anymore. Everything's just either food or it's not food. So the real question shouldn't be, is cereal a soup? It should be, is cereal a food? And to that question, I say sometimes, because some cereals are gross and disgusting. Take, for example, Frosted Mini Wheats. Those are not gross or disgusting. Take, for another example, unfrosted Mini Wheats. Those are gross and disgusting and are not a food. I don't know who paid who to sneak those into boxes and put them in the cereal aisle, but if you ask me, those belong in the garbage, not in a person's mouth. Thanks for calling, caller. I hope I answered your question good. Oh, now it's time for another call. Go ahead, caller. What have you got for me today?
Hey, Worm Tutorial. Just calling to see if you could answer my question, which is, how do you feel about the world of virtual reality? Thank you. Goodbye.
How do I feel about the world of virtual reality? Well, that's an interesting question. Off the bat, I'll say I've never experienced virtual reality, and I have no interest in doing it. Normal reality is tough enough for me. I don't need a second one. Real reality sucks. Why would I want one that's sort of a different version of that? The first one's difficult. I don't need a second one. And even if the virtual reality was easy, there'd still be some hard parts to it. And real life that's hard plus fake life that's a little bit hard just equals harder life altogether. I'll stick with my one reality, thank you very much. And I like my reality to be pure, uncut, and raw. That's why I do reality all day, 24/7, without the hindrance of drugs and alcohol. Forget about that stuff. You don't need it. If you really want to experience the horrors of life, if you really want to look terror right in the eyes, do it sober. That's what I say. Don't drink and drive, kids. This message is brought to you by me, and I say don't drink and drive. I also say don't drive. Driving pollutes a lot, and you can walk pretty much anywhere, and if it's really far, you can swim there, and if it's really, really far, who cares? Just don't go. Stay home. Most of the good stuff in the world's in your home anyway, so just hang out. Well, I think that about wraps up this episode of Worm Talk. Thanks for calling, everybody. I hope I did a good job answering your questions. And if you want to call and leave me a message, feel free to do so. Just call me at 678-PIG-SLOP and leave a nice message with a good question, and maybe I'll answer it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.